So as we age in life, and it's always seems to be the big, bad word of aging, but it is something that we all got to be grateful for that we're still here and aging. As we age, do you wonder how physically active you're going to be, how difficult it will be to move around, to do things? As time goes on and as we do age, it's one of the things that you always got to be very mindful of. And today we're going to discuss just that. Hi, my name is Glenda Kroll, and today we're going to get real on Let's Get Real with our co-host, Nicole Harvick. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing?
Hello, my friend. I'm good. Yesterday was a rough day for me. We had a crazy storm here, and I don't know if it was pressure. I don't know what it was, but I had just one of those headaches yesterday that I'm like, no, let me wake up okay today. And here I am. So I'm great. I'm great. And I'm very excited about our guest today.
Yeah, so am I, because it's something that, for me, it's really important. I didn't grow up with being physically active. My family really wasn't the most active families in the world. And at a certain point in my life, it came into my life because at a certain point, I found myself probably being the heaviest as I was so involved with working that my life was basically working and sleeping. And when I left a job, I looked at myself and I wasn't happy. And that's when I started down. And that was really at the very early 20s when I set on my new path in my life. And from that point on, I've always kept it going. But, you always have to be mindful of where you're going to be as you age. And, this year I'm going to be coming up to a big number. And I'm very mindful, especially since, probably about a year and a half ago, I had a very bad accident. And I had to get my body back in shape again, and back in shape enough to walk on my own 2 feet, right? So that's a huge, wake up call. And I've had that a few times through my life. So it's always something that's the foremost in my mind because, if your body can't carry you, then you really got to start looking at life, right? So it's really important. So as we go on, and it's the beginning of the year, and it is also what people do make big resolutions about. Because one of the biggest things in life, it starts off, and I can't tell you how many people I hear this, that when they start off the new year, I'm not a resolution person. Are you?
Either. No, absolutely not. It doesn't even make sense anymore that,
Yeah.
why do you have to start at January 1st?
Well, I never
Just
understood
do
why.
it.
Yeah, like, why everybody's going to start a diet. They have to wait till the Monday, or like, why can't you just start?
Exactly. And that's almost like a little trap they get you into mentally wise.
Yeah,
And to me, it's like, you know what, I just want to make this a habit. I don't need to start it on a Monday and have my free day on Friday and, drink this that day. It's like, don't complicate it. Just do what you need to do.
exactly. And anyway, so let's please introduce our guest today.
I sure will. And I'm really excited to talk to this lady. We both know her from Forbes, who, just we have that in common. But there's so much that this lady is. I'm telling you, she is a dancer. She is an author. She is a poet. She is a choreographer. She's a photographer, a painter, a motivational speaker, an athlete, a coach, and a teacher.
Wow.
She holds degrees from 4 colleges, including the University of Southern Mississippi. So not 1, not 2, 4. So to me, that's amazing. And I hope this shows up. She was the cutest little girl you've ever seen. Isn't
Yes,
she adorable? And
adorable.
yeah, so let's welcome Dr. Virgie Broussard Pradia. And I hope I'm saying the last name right. If not, you are more than welcome to correct me.
Hi, thank for having me. It's Pradia.
Pradia. Okay, I wasn't sure, long, short, but yeah. Okay, now I will forever remember. So yeah, I'm so impressed. I've just started going through your book. I love the pictures of who you've met in your lifetime. You know, Muhammad Ali, and it's just crazy to see those. And then I read the back. I'm like, four. She's got 4 degrees. You know,
Well,
that's amazing.
and we are totally honored to have you bless our stage here today, Dr. Virgie, and welcome to Let's Get Real. And let's start
Thank
because
you. She talking about crazy. It's crazy to me too. Every time I look at it and think about it and look at myself in the mirror, I have to smile and say, wow, look how far I have come. And
Yes.
I'm the third of 11 children.
wow, wow.
And we come from a very poor family because I'm a person who worked in the pepper field, in the cotton field, and work in the shrimp factories. So when I look at it, I say the same, this is crazy. I've never ever thought I would have been an author. So, but it happens.
Yes. And here you are with just a list a mile long of accomplishments. Which one stands out the most for you in your life? Which one are you? I know you have to be proud of all of them because I would be, but is there anyone that's like really embedded in your heart?
It's 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 a simple one. I'm laughing because I had a challenge on Forbes program, and it was to do lip sync. And I'd
Oh,
never done a lip sync in my life.
I remember
And
that.
I don't know the words to any song. So that was a challenge because I was working on this and I was working on this. And the thing that I had selected was um, working. This is oh God, it's Tina Turner, a song. And
I love her.
I because I wanted to dance. And I was not able to learn these simple words. I couldn't get it out, and I was frustrated. On the very last day, when we had to turn it in, I said, "Well, forget it." Then I said, "Oh, let me try "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, because I performed to that. I said maybe the word will come. So I changed clothing. I got ready. And my very first take, I just started reliving my dance because everybody know me as a dancer. So I started reliving this dance. And as the song was playing, the words just started coming out. So I said, wow. So I have looked at this tape, believe it or not, over and over, maybe 20, 30 times, because I can't believe that that's me. I can't believe that I did that. So that's one of the things for me. It's simple, but it's like, if you would really know me, this is way out of my element. So I'm proud of that one.
Good, good. And that one was a hard one for me too. Was that hard for you to lip sync, Glenda?
Well, I really just got into it. I found a song that I really loved, and I just went, I'm the type that just says, well, I just go for it and go into it. And I just really got into it. Once I actually, it was more for me was getting it all, the background up and stuff like that. So it was more of getting, once I got the technical stuff I was just flying, and I just thought, what a riot. Yeah, what a hoot. I'm going for it.
Yeah,
So
you just roll with those things, girl.
listen, I'm the little party girl. I say all the time, no matter what, if there's a party going on, just call me. I'll be right there with,
That's right. With your lip syncing equipment.
oh
And,
no, it's brilliant.
and another thing for me too, it's heartwarming for me too to have doctor in front of my name, because this is something I've never dreamed of. It just that just happened as well. But because when I was in high school, I thought you had to be really, really smart to go to college. So I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. I didn't think it was college material. And if I was, my parents couldn't send me to college anyway. So that was I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a dancer, but I knew I couldn't afford to go to college and I wasn't smart enough. That was the lie that I told myself.
Mm-hmm.
So after I graduated from high school, I went to Texas, first trip ever out of Louisiana, to become a live-in babysitter.
Wow.
That's what I did. And then I took a test in Texas. They had some kind of program where they would send you to school free, and then they would give you a stipend if you qualified. So I had taken the test, and I made high scores. The I made 95 and up was my scores. And I said, wow, I passed. I did good. And I was shocked with myself. But when I went back home a year later, my mother refused to let me go back to Texas. So I ended up going back working in the shrimp factory. So I said, Mom, if you had to let me go back to Houston, I wouldn't be working in this fat shrimp factory. I would probably be working in an office, being a secretary or something. So she looked at me and she said, girl, let me tell you something. From now on, do whatever you want. That was the happiest day of my life. I said, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay.
But I wasn't able to go back to Houston. But
sorry, go ahead.
But the guy from Houston, his sister needed a live-in babysitter. And I went live with her and became a live-in babysitter. Then I heard somebody say that a classmate of mine was in college. And when I heard that, I said, he's going into his second year? I said, wait a minute. I'm smarter than he is. I can go to college. That's when it clicked. And I started working on getting into college.
Wow.
But you said something, and it's something I really want to just go over a bit, because it's something that's very common to all of us, and we all do this at all times. It's the story that we tell ourselves. You said, that you were shocked that you had done, so well in school and had made such incredible numbers the first time when you went through. Why is it about ourselves that we hold ourselves back? Now, did you at any point in your life did you have boys in your family?
6.
Okay.
Wow.
So
were
the boys made to feel higher in a higher level than the girls? Because sometimes families do that. The boys are the ones that they look at, that they're going to make it in life, and the girls are just supposed to keep the house.
No, that didn't happen in our family. My mother was just so busy trying to take care of the kids and things like that. See, my father and my mother, neither one of them had a formal education. Then when the children got a little older, my mother went to night school. But no, we were all treated equally. It wasn't anything like. In fact, my father used to always tell me, you can do anything you want to. He was a carpenter. And he said, you can do that as well. So I learned some carpenter work.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, when we had to put some ceiling tile they used to put during those days, and he had gotten some, but he had not gotten around to do it. And it was taking a while. I said, well, Dad, show me how to do it. I'll do it. So I did it. And so to this day, the tile is still up on the ceiling. And I did that when I was in high school. So he challenged us to do different things. And he always would let us know that we could do whatever we wanted to do. But he was a difficult person. He was a good man, but then on weekends he would drink, and that made our life a little miserable on weekends.
So what was the first degree that you got?
I got a bachelor's degree at Grambling State University in physical education.
Okay, so that is what led you into the world of exercise. Am I correct?
Yes, because I was teaching. Once I graduated, I went to New York because that's where I wanted to work. So I started looking for a job in New York. I wouldn't accept any other jobs. I had other job offers, but I wanted to go to New York because that was a childhood dream. And so I started working in New York, and dance was priority for me. So dance was a thing for me. But
Why?
now, why? As a little girl, around the seventh, fifth grade, I used to look at the Ed Sullivan Show, and I loved it.
I
And
remember. Yeah.
I couldn't believe what the body used to do when it came up with the acrobatics. And I said, wow, this is fantastic. And I said, I wonder if there's a trick that they do, they use to make it seem like it's real. So I started trying the acrobatic to see if a person could move their body that way, can twist and turn. And I started doing it. And it was amazing. I said, I could do that. And I started practicing, and I was getting better and better. And that's how I got into the acrobatics. And then my mother used to tell people, come and see what she can do. And I would show when my relative would come over, I would show the different things I could do. So when I went into seventh grade, that's when my teacher started an after school dance program in dance, and I joined it. That's how I started with the dance part of it. Yeah.
So I understand that, so dance has been sort of, I think you danced professionally through the years?
No, I did not dance professionally. I danced with the college group.
Okay.
And then after that, and I wouldn't consider that professionally because we weren't getting paid, but I did do a trip with the USO show. I performed, I went to Korea, Japan, Okinawa, Taiwan, and the Philippines. Our tours, I think, was about 2 months. That was in the 1970. Yeah.
Wow.
So because of my talent, I was fortunate enough to go places where I never dream of going, because I would never dream of going to Southeast Asia. And when I was dreaming of going to New York, being an all-American cheerleader got me there. My first trip was like, my God, first class, everything, because I was sponsored by ABC Sports, because I was an all-American cheerleader. And I was on the same show with O.J. Simpson when he got his Heisman Trophy Award. So I've been blessed by my talent.
And what doors did it open for you?
For me, knowing that I was smart enough, it opened doors for me to look at the educational process. And when I went to get my first degree, I did well. And my department chair would always tell other people of me. That's why I had no problem getting a job. And then I found out that they had an assistantship. If you did well, you can get an assistantship. So you don't have to pay to get a master's degree. So I went on and got a master's degree. Once I found that if you do well, you can get assistantship, and I did. So I got an assistantship for my first master's degree. I received assistantship for my second master's degree. And then I was having a little problem on my job, and I decided to take a sabbatical. That's when I went to the University of Southern Mississippi, just to get away from the daily routine of working and having a little battle with my department chair. So, and by accident, that's how I went on the path to get a doctoral degree. The department chair at University of Southern Mississippi called me in and said, I think you would be a great candidate for a Doctor of Education degree. I said, oh, I have no plans on that. He said, well, you need to consider it. And he said, this is what I'll do. He said, I'll have assistantship for you to come next year. I said, oh, okay. I said, but I won't be able to attend next year because I have to work. I have a mortgage to pay. So he said, okay, well, how about, this was like in August. He said, in March, let me know if you want to come. We'll hold the assistantship until March for you to decide to come that following September. So after I did that and I paid most of my bill, I said, that's too much of a good deal to not take. I'm going to work on a doctoral degree. That's how that happened. That wasn't in my plans, but doors have a way of opening for you.
To believe in yourself
Absolutely.
during those times as you were growing and you were climbing the ladder and you were getting the education? Did you believe in yourself?
I've always believed in myself. I've always loved myself, but I just told me that one lie that I wasn't smart enough. But as far as believing in myself per se and love myself, because I could never understand when people would say they didn't love themselves. I said, what is this all about? I don't love myself. So that was hard for me to believe. Let me tell you one thing. When I was young, my oldest brother was my friend. He was like my best friend. And one day, his name is Rennis, and I called him in. I said, Rennis, come, quick, 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 come see. And he came in the house, and he said, what? I said, look in the mirror. He said, what? I said, what do you see? What do you see? He said, nothing. Oh, yes, you do. I said, you see your beautiful, gorgeous sister. And he was upset with me. So that's how I thought of myself. So even though I had a broken tooth in the front because I broke a tooth when I was young, I still thought I was beautiful. So I never
Wow.
had that
That's
problem.
amazing. And I want to ask you, I want to go back just a minute and ask you a question about when you left after high school to go to a stranger's house to watch their
Mhm,
kids.
mhm.
Was that intimidating at all? Were you afraid, or did you just feel like that was the path you were supposed to take? Because it was different back then. I guess it was safer, but leaving Louisiana to go to Texas for the first time by yourself, how did that feel?
I was never afraid. I was always like adventure.
Oh,
So just like when I was young, I used to go to the library and get detective books about detective, how to become a detective, stories about that. So for me, it was like an adventure. And when I go somewhere, it seemed as though I would adapt to that environment, and I would never miss home. I would never long to be home. I was just consumed in that environment and accepted that environment that I was in. That's the way I've always been.
wow. That's amazing. So you're
Even in
very
South,
open-minded
right?
about
Even
things.
even when I went to Southeast Asia, that was right after I graduated from college. The students that were there, that was with the group, it was 15 of us. They were lonesome. They would want to go home and things like that. They were happy when the tour was over, but I was enjoying every moment. I did not miss being home. I just thought everything was so exciting, and I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. And because of that, today, it makes my heart hurt when I know that veterans are out there homeless and can't get medication and things like that. They
Yeah.
should get everything they deserve. They should not ever want for anything. So it's some behind the scene that you see when you go there that's not privileged to everyone to know that happens up there. So my heart goes out to them every time they talk about that.
I totally agree with you. I don't understand our governments
No.
about these for what people put out. So, it's amazing how you have transpired your own self, your own life, and built yourself up along the way. And I understand that you've also written a book or a couple of books.
A
That
couple. I
and
um, I wrote my first book was Portrait the Way I Did It, and that one happened because I decided to take another sabbatical from work. And I went and I said, well, I'm gonna take a sabbatical. I want it to be fun and not work. So I took dance classes and I took a portrait class. So I started writing. I used to write earlier, and then I stopped. When I went to New York, I had written a script because I'm the type of person, because I was in this program and they had given us a script to work with the kids. And I look at the script, I said, this is not a script for us. This is not us. This is not the kid. So I went home and I wrote a script for them to do for that summer program. It was called African Vibration, and I made it like a musical dance kind of performance. So that's when I started writing, and then I stopped for a long time. Then I start again a 9/11, because 9/11 every day when I look at it, and I had to write, so I'd write, and then when I took that time off sabbatical, I went to that poetry class, and that's when I really start looking at it as publishing, because we had to do a little booklet at the end of the semester. And after I had that booklet, I said, I may as well publish. So I took some of that and then added on. And that's why I call it Poetry the Way I Did It. That was my first book that I did. So,
do you journal?
not as much as I should. And this year, I like to say, when this year comes, I'm going to start. So I started this year, and so far I've done it every day. But every year I would start, and I stopped somewhere along the way. But I wish I had, because I have to write another book, and I wish I had joined her to learn more about what I've done during that time, because everybody asking for the next part of my memoir, because they said I left them hanging. So, and my only regret about that is I didn't do it sooner, is because my brother been waiting on it, and he would ask me all of the time, when are you going to write your next book, your memoir? Because he said he learned a lot about me that he didn't know by reading my book.
Wow.
Because we years apart. So, and he passed away last year. And so that's the only regret I have. I didn't write it while he was living. But in my second book, I wrote because I saw a need. I was taking care of my mother and the little town where I grew up. And I saw kids being loud on the street, walking around with sagging pants and things of that nature, sitting on the barbershop shop across the street from my mother. So I went talk to them, and I asked them if they wanted to learn some of my poems, and they said yes. And then I started teaching them in my mother's backyard. I put a sheet there, and under her tree I would teach them. And then I decided I needed to write something for the young men. So I wrote Remarkable Man, and it's kind of patterned from Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman. So I wrote Remarkable Man, and I had them to recite this and work on this. And that's one of the things that I started.
Beautiful cover.
Yeah. And then I have the one that I call My Love, Your Love, Portrait of Love. And I wrote that because of my past love life and the new things that I hear about people and what they ask me about. And then I visualize that, what they're going through. And then I wrote about that. And then after that, that's when they asked me to write. People always ask me to write a book about my life. And that's when I came up motivated by Dan's My Dream Realized. Because most of everything that I did, I felt that dance motivated me. By watching the Ed Sullivan Show, motivated me to want to get out of the little town that I grew up in. It motivated me to think of other things. It motivated me to be creative. So.
And it's such an important thing too, because dance is just one of the, allowing the body to be moving. And I understand that you have come up, well, what you're now doing is an exercise regime that you've made, that you're working on now to put out there for people. And I'd like to talk about that because it's really interests me. As I said much earlier, at probably around 20 is when I really got into exercising and changing my own habits. And even until today, it's an important thing, to keep the body young and keep the body moving and flowing. And from you, it's been your dancing and your exercise regime. And what are you doing now, though, that you have something that well, let's talk a bit about this because I find it very interesting to see what happens with.
Now I look at the world like when I go out, I see we have become an obesity epidemic.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And it makes my heart ache to see that. And I'm asking myself why. And then many people say they don't have the time to
Yeah.
exercise.
Whew.
And I would say, love yourself enough to take the time because you are number one. Because whenever I would have a exercise class when I was teaching at the University of Southern Mississippi, when I was teaching at ULL, my end of the class, I would say, take care of yourself because there will never be another one like you. So, and that's what I would hope people would do. And I started, since they said, well, I don't have time, I started this doing 5 minutes of fitness every morning. And I started that 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. And so every morning I'd get up and do 5 minutes. So I said a person could take the first 5 minutes, even if they was getting up at, let's say 7, get up 10 minutes before 7, if that was your normal time, and say, I'm going to do 5 minutes of fitness. Well, take the first 5 minutes for yourself for fitness. And that's where you could include it. So if you say, I don't have time, take that time. And the 5 minutes fitness that I do, I included the different components like cardio, flexibility, strength. All of that is incorporated in that 5 minutes that I do in the morning. And I found that by doing the 5 minutes in the morning, it has given me a lot of energy. It has given me like my breathing is really good. My lung capacity is good. So I decided, well, let me share this with others. They could do these 5 minutes. So I start choreographing other 5 minutes, taking in consideration what kind of movement they can do that would be good to do during their lunch period. 5 minutes taken from their lunch period. Arm exercise. A lot of people, especially women, talk about the flap on the arm. So I've created a 5-minute arm exercise to do where you could do it without sweating, because some people would worry about sweating during lunch. So I try to give some things where they wouldn't have to sweat, but it's really good. And even balancing for us people of my age, because I'm 7 to 8 years young.
Oh, yes.
So I choreograph a 5 minutes of balancing because we need balance, because many people of our ages fall because of balance. So I have a 5 minutes to work on balance. So I think of different 5 minutes that a person can do. And if a person come in to a class with me and say, okay, they having a difficult time doing a particular movement, then I would modify for them to be able to continue with that particular program. And then, okay, I modify it. Now you keep going, and then eventually go to that particular movement that was taught before. So I modify the movement for the person. So that's how I work.
They're even doing now chair yogas and things like that. So, there's so much out there now, especially that we have the internet. We're living in a world where there's so many pros and cons because, people are sitting too much. We're on our phones too much, but yet we have some wonderful things by having the computers there. So, going on to YouTube, you can get all of these things as well. But a 5 minute, if you can do it a few times a day, then it can add something. And what it really does as well is it really helps the mind. I believe in 100% of balance because that's so important. But it's also the stimulation of the mind, of the flow, so you can focus as
Oh,
much.
it does. You'd be more productive once you get up. if you, okay, I'm getting a little tired, drowsy, you get up and you do a little
You move.
movement. Yeah. And you feel much better after it. You're ready to go. So it
Mhm.
stimulates you to continue to go. So movement is the one thing. It's just like it's I have the 5 minutes fitness gym, but the gym on the end of it, it's called is give yourself movement. That's what the
Mm,
gym stand for
I
in
like
my
that.
business.
Oh, that's cool.
In
Yeah.
my 5 minutes right, 5 minutes fitness gym, but it's give yourself movements. That's what that gym stands for.
So important. So
Mhm.
important.
Right.
I think
So
that's, go ahead. That, I think that's really the key to life. We got to keep our bodies moving so that, if we sit and if we stay too long in positions, then it's only going to hurt our own bodies. And as we age, it's going to show even more.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. And another thing is that during the COVID, I also invested in being a mindset life coach because I got certified in that. And the reason I did that is because I've learned that you have to get a person ready for them to want to make the change. You can't help them if they're not ready. You can tell them what they need to do, but they will not do it until they're ready. You can tell a person the kind of food that they need to eat for their energy level or to take the weight off, but
Sure.
they will not do it until the mind is ready. They have to be
Absolutely.
ready to accept it. So that's helping me also in getting that certification. It also helped me while I was studying. There's also some things that it helped me to do and techniques to learn to do a better job with my clients, my students when I see them. So that has helped me as well.
So somebody who is not terribly active and maybe hasn't had that much in their life, and they're the body is starting to break down or so forth. What are the first things that you suggest to them?
Start slowly. Don't try to keep up with your teacher. Don't I tell them, don't try to keep up with me. Even though you're younger than me, see, many people, if they're younger than I am, they think they should be able to do it. And I tell them, no, you have not been doing this. Your body is not ready uh, to do this. Meet you, meet your body where it is, and
Where-
then you can work from there. If I do 30, your body may only be able to do 10. Be grateful for doing 10.
Yes.
Don't beat yourself. Be grateful. And then you say to yourself, I did 10. I'll try 12 tomorrow. I'll try. And you keep going until you say, way, I went to 30. So you start where you are, where your body is, and don't push it because then you're going to wear yourself out. And, I don't want to do it anymore. But no, no, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your body. Don't do
Oh,
that to your mind.
absolutely. And sometimes I have trouble with my hip. And
Mhm,
so I found someone on Facebook, and he
mhm,
talks about what exercises we should be doing along with moving the hip or rotating the hip. He says, but it's little things. It's like your body has to work all together. He says, start with just circling your ankles, just
mhm.
circle, and then just clench or stand up against a door and squat down. I mean, they're tiny little movements, but they make such a big difference in the overall picture. I was
Exactly.
amazed.
Exactly. Tiny little thing that you have to tweak. It's just like
Mhm.
when I was swimming instructor as well. It was these minor little things that you had to tweak in somebody's movement for them to excel in swimming. Some people didn't analyze, they would try to teach everybody the same, but no, you have to look at it and analyze their body type and what their body is doing in the water and then tweak it for them so they could move forward with that. And it's the same thing with the fitness, physical fitness on your body. You have to listen to your body. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't listen to their body. And that's why I am able to keep going at my age because I always listen to my body. Even when I go to the doctor and they writing a prescription, pain pill, And I said, you could keep your pad and your prescription. And then he would go, well, why? You need something? I said, no, I don't. He said, you're the only person come in my office say they're not taking the prescription for pain pill. He said, most of the time people come in here and ask me for pain pill, but you won't even take it. And I said, you know why? I said, because your body giving you pain is a signal. You have to find out what it is and not cover it up. I said, and I'm a dancer. I'm in fitness. I'm a basketball player, basketball coach. I said, I will go out there and injure myself if I take the pain pill, which will numb the area. I will not know when to stop, when enough is enough. And when the pain medicine is gone, then the pain is worse because I've damaged when I didn't know that my body was telling me to stop. It couldn't tell me because it was numb. So.
And I agree with you 1,000,000% with that as well. I believe that our body is there talking to us. We just don't always listen to it. And that's probably one of the most important things that we need to do.
Exactly. I learned to listen to my body. And because of that, I did not go into surgery when the doctor said, you need surgery. And I told the doctor, no, I don't need surgery. You guys want to cut on people because y'all want to make money, but you're not cutting on me. Because when I went in, I had plantar fasciitis and she wanted to have surgery. She said, you either have surgery or you can forget about dancing and you can forget about working, And I said, well, neither one of them are options. I said, goodbye. And she said, well, you need to go to therapy. I said, I am my own therapist. I'll do my own therapy. And fortunately enough, I was subscribed to Dance Magazine. And the next day, when the magazine came in, it said how to prevent plantar fasciitis and how to then exercise to keep, So, and I started doing those exercises. I wore my boots. And it took me a while. And I've been dancing ever since. And that's been, 12, not 18, about 12 years ago. But, and I have an aunt who went to the same doctor, got the surgery. She said she is worse off now than she was before.
Wow.
So sometimes we have to know our body and be vigilant about our health. I'm a home remedy girl.
I am too. And I listen very closely to what it's telling me, whether it's heartburn or something else, something that simple. It's like, well, that's caused from something I ate. What was it? And let's get rid of it.
Right.
Down to surgery. Right. I've never had any kind of surgery other than elective. So, I totally agree with you.
Right. And move. It's just like I said, you do your 5 minutes. You can even do your 5 minutes in a dance. If it's a line dance, something that pep you up. And that's one of the things that I say too, at the end of the day, when you get ready to leave to go to work, you do a 5 minutes line dance or something to pep you up to be able to go back home. So it movement, and then it lifts your spirit up. So I have one that's called Louisiana Hot. And every time I hear that, it picks me up. It's called Louisiana. Go to my YouTube channel. You could see it.
I'm going to have to figure that out and maybe do a Louisiana Hot with her someday.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
We can do that.
Absolutely.
So is that one of the secrets to your success that at the young age of 78 that you're still moving and grooving around?
Yes, I still challenge myself. I put something in front of me to move me forward that I'm looking forward to. And guess what my next challenge is?
I couldn't even imagine with you. We would be guessing all day.
See, like on my birthday once, I think I was about 75. My challenge was to see if I could still do a headstand. And I do it, and I put it on Facebook. So I did that. So now my challenge is that I will be the oldest dancer to ever perform at halftime at Grambling State University football game. I had been performing every year at halftime with the alumni dancers up until COVID. And then last year, the dancers returned, the alumni dancers returned, but they asked me not to perform. So I said, okay. They said, well, we want to honor you, because I used to be the dance director of,
Wow.
of the band. So they said, you're the director. We don't want you to dance. We're performing. I said, okay, fine. And after that, I had so many people said, why didn't you perform? You be looking for you. Why didn't you perform? I said, okay, I will be performing. And I want to be out there when I'm 80. So I can say, okay, I don't think anybody going to beat that. So I'm going to be out there until I'm 80. I'll be performing.
I
So
think
I'm
that's a
getting
great
ready.
goal.
And I told my neighbor across the street, I said, when you see me in my gazebo doing kicks, I'm practicing for my high kicks from when I'm 80, because I want my kicks to come up to my nose.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm practicing. I have a year to practice, year and a half to practice. So that's what I'm. So it's giving you something to have fun, to challenge yourself, to keep yourself moving, keep yourself going. And once I got in a pageant, and what do you call that? Yeah, it was a pageant for married couples, whatever.
Oh, okay.
I forgot what they call it, but I got in there just to have something to work towards, to keep me going, to keep my body in shape. So I knew I had to work on that. So I just got in just to play and to wear a dress that I had bought, and I didn't have anywhere to go. So I said I could wear that to the pageant.
So she does a pageant to wear her dress.
Well, I think it's a good excuse.
I do too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, there's
Usually,
nothing worse than having something that's sitting in your cupboard.
yeah, having been someone who was a pageant director, it was usually they entered the pageant and then they're like, what dress should we get? She goes and gets the dress and said, where is a pageant?
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. Let me look around.
Let me figure this out. Where can I wear this? Oh, pageant.
That's the way I do it.
Good for you. Good for you. That's amazing. And it gives me incentive, like get out there and let's do some stuff, That's awesome.
All right. Mental attitude. That's
It's
the key
everything.
thing.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Attitude.
It either can make you or break you, and that's really the important thing. I believe that attitude is everything in life.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And I think that you are such a beautiful inspiration to everybody, and I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think everyone should. That's why I always put enjoy life when I speak. And then I said on the end, enjoy life, because you should, this is a gift to you. Your body is a gift to you. So you have to take care of it so we could take care of you. And one of the things I say to my student when we're in the dance class, if they say I can't, somebody say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Everybody had to gravitate to a place on the wall. And on that wall, it has, I am a very important person and my abilities are unlimited. And I tell them, don't say I can't. Always say I'm having a difficult time. And I know early you probably heard me say difficult time. And that's why I tell them, don't say I can't. Say you're having a difficult time, because then it leaves the door open for you to be able to do it. But when you say I can't, it closes the door.
Well, it sort of tells your subconscious, it already closes you off. It blocks you.
Exactly.
So it's how we talk to ourselves that really matters.
All the time. All the time.
And we don't realize how our voices or our words have such meanings to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And in the fitness world too, like I said earlier, you have to know your body And if you go to the doctor, do research. Once they tell you something, just don't take their words, just do research as well to learn more about your condition in your body. And one of the things that I know is the thing to do is get enough sleep. But that's one thing I had struggled with because I'm a night person. But I do schedule for 8 hours of sleep because I may not go to bed till 12 o'clock, but I'll sleep, get my 8 hours in. I'll get up at 8. But I've been trying to change, not trying, I've been changing my schedule so that I could go to bed at an earlier time. It's not working as well, but I still get my 8 hours in. Okay.
No, and I realize that, and that's still one of my biggest struggles in life is getting enough sleep. I tend to, I have a harder time getting up in the morning, but especially in the winter times now that it's getting colder here and it's very dark in the mornings, it's not as easy for me to get up, but you know what? It's still something that is more of a bit of a challenge, but you know, it's still that. Well, you know, my sleeping in would be till 7 o'clock, but I want to start getting up, doing. I still like to do a workout before I even start my day. I believe it's a great.
We need to get together so I could show you that 5 minutes that I do in the morning, so we can get rolling. That's one thing. I never neglect to do my 5 minutes. If I'm away in town, everywhere, that's one thing. You don't have to look for a gym. You don't have to think about what you're going to do. I always do it except for on Sunday. I give myself a break on Sunday because I could not come to you and say I do this every day. If I don't, that would be a lie. So I have to, no matter how I feel, I get on first thing, I get on the floor. No, first thing I go to the restroom and empty my bladder. Then I come on the floor and I work out. And then after that, I do 16 ounces of water. I gulp it to get my system going and cleaning my system. And it's important every day to, like I say, have a bowel movement, flush your system out every day. So those are things that I do, a ritual daily.
Good rituals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a great start, and it's great that you're really somebody that people should be watching and learning from, because as you are obviously not getting older, you are getting better, and
Yeah.
my hat goes off to you. It's beautiful to see. Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing cartwheels next week.
Oh, and you'll be getting that leg up to your nose, you said too.
Yes, exactly. I will have that.
Yeah, that's amazing. You're definitely inspirational. That is for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole.
So into 2024, do you have a major goal for 2024?
2024, my major goal, well, one of the things right now it's on me is to get my nephew out of foster care. I have a nephew that's in foster care, and that's been constantly on me right now. So I've been calling every day, and I can't understand why they would keep a child in foster care when they know he have family that wants him at home. Right. So I can't understand that system. So I've been trying to get the senior advisor to talk to, and they have not returned my call. So that's my major thing right now. And other than that is to get more people involved in doing the 5 minutes of fitness, and to seeing how much the benefit of that it would be for them in their lives. So that's one of the things that I was going to focus. That's why right now I'm not focusing on the dance, because I've been a dance teacher. I have a dance studio. It's not open. I have not decided whether I'm going to open again, but I want to concentrate on the fitness part of it instead of the dance. And then I may come with another segment with dance and fitness, because I had an aerobic line dance fitness class as well when I had my studio open. So it's different direction I can go in. But I'd like to right now explore that 5 minutes, since people say they do not have time. And I want to say you can make the time.
Yeah.
Here, in the morning, at noon, maybe at 3, a little break, then before you leave work, then at home, when you get at home, you can do stretching. So you have your 25 minutes in. So that's what I want to instill. Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the perfect attitude, because really, our bodies need it and we deserve it. You got to love yourself and love your body enough to do something to help yourself. Well, Dr. Virgie, we are getting to the end of our hour. It's amazing how fast time goes by, and it always does when you're enjoying yourself. I want to thank you so much for blessing us today and giving us such incredible inspiration. And I'd like to know if there's any special little nugget you would like to leave us with today.
Just take care of yourself and tell yourself that you are important and there's never be another one like you. So you have to take care of that person. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Nicole, what would you like to tell us today?
I think the most important thing she brought up today is the self-love, because, that was something I didn't know I was supposed to do or could do. Something I'd never thought about was loving myself. And I always tell this to people. It's, I loved my kids. I loved my dog, my parents, but it just never entered my field of thought. And once I realized that was okay, that is very life-changing. And the way she describes it, look at her adventures she's had, because she loved herself enough to do it out of high school, to travel, she's got this open mind that loves herself enough to give it a try. And I think that's so important for everybody. I know many people that, where I lived growing up are still there. And to me, it's, I want to see the world. I want to meet people. I want to do things, and I want to be healthy to do it. So what she's talking about today is just, it's 100% for you. And it's so important. And I'm very grateful that you came on here, because I can do 5 minutes in the morning.
Thank you.
I will do 5 minutes in the morning.
Okay. I would love for you to get with me so you can try the 5 minutes that I have. See, what all the 5 minutes I have is choreographed, especially for different areas, so that you can really feel the difference. And there's a lot of breathing techniques. See, a lot of people don't breathe when they're doing the exercise. So I have a lot of breathing in it, and that's where you get that energy level and you get your lung capacity strong.
Yes.
So
Love that.
Dr. Virgie, what is your YouTube channel called?
It's Virgie Broussard Pradia. You can do it in search. And also I have the 5minutefitnessgym.com.
And whoever is interested in that, her link is below this video, where you will see her 5minute-video.com. So you will be able to contact her if you would like to see her and get some of her wise words, because you know what? This is a woman who knows of what she's doing, as you can see it. It's always a dream to be able to keep on going. And as I see a lot of people aging, I see a lot of people slowing down and getting larger. And we really got to learn that you got to love yourself enough that it's worth your 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes morning, afternoon, and evening. If that's all it is, do it for yourself. It's really the important thing in life. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Blessed to both.